English and Roman history are intrinsically linked, from the language to our architecture and everything in between. Hidden between every crack in the wall hides a story, ready and waiting to be shared with the world. Today, I want to share just a few of those stories from a place that we will be actually visiting soon on a live stream. The walled city of Chester, which is located in Cheshire, England, on the River Dee, close to the border with Wales. Chester was granted city status in 1541, but its history goes back much earlier than that, and still with Roman-built constructs from over 1,000 years ago standing today. So if you got 5 minutes, let's have a little chat about Chester. Chester was originally settled by the Romans nearly 2,000 years ago during the reign of Emperor Vespasian, and founded by a dude whose name I am not even going to try and pronounce, and was not even called Chester. The Romans called it Fortress Deva Victrix. The name Deva derives from goddess, although there is an alternate source for the naming of the settlement, which suggests that the Roman name for the fortress was adopted directly from the British name of the River Dee, upon which the city sits. With its imposing city walls and strategic location, Deva rapidly became one of the most important Roman settlements in Britain. The huge fortress that they built there only solidified this location as an important and formidable stronghold. Founded as a castrum, or what we would call today a Roman fort, with the name Deva Victrix, it was established in the land of the Celtic Cornavoy, according to the ancient cartographer Ptolemy, as a fortress during the Roman expansion north. We already know where the Deva part comes from, but what about the Victrix? The most obvious argument would be that Victrix is Latin for victorious, but it was seemingly dropped from the name anyway, and it was shortened to just Fort Deva. It was a legionary fortress and town in the Roman province of Britannia. The fortress was built as the Roman army advanced north against the Brigantes and needed to be rebuilt completely over the next few decades, but the legion only likely remained at the fortress until the late 4th or early 5th century. A civilian settlement grew around the fort, probably starting as a group of traders and their families who were profiting from trade with the fortress. Interestingly, several factors, including the presence of an elliptical building unique in legionary fortresses, the method of construction, and the unusual size of the fortress, it being 20% larger than any other Roman fortresses in Britain, suggest that it may have been intended as a base for a potential invasion of Ireland, and perhaps eventually to become the capital of Britain rather than London. The fortress contained barracks, granaries, military headquarters, military baths, and the unusual elliptical building that is thought to have acted as the governor of Britain's headquarters. The civilian amphitheatre, which was built in the 1st century, could sit anywhere between 8,000 and 10,000 people and is the largest known military amphitheatre in Britain. It is also a scheduled monument, which means it is a nationally important archaeological site and given protection against any unauthorised change. The Minerva Shrine in the Roman Quarry is the only rock-cut Roman shrine still in situ, and this just baffles me to think how old it is, likely thousands of years. The civilian settlement thrived, and its occupants probably continued to use the fortress and its defences as protection from raiders in the Irish Sea. During the Dark Ages, Chester came under attack from Viking raiders who sailed up the river in their longships. After the conquest of Britain by the Normans in 1066, William I created the first Earl of Chester, who began the construction of Chester Castle. By the Middle Ages, Chester had become a wealthy trading port. However, disaster befell the city during the English Civil War, as Chester was besieged for 2 years before starvation forced its people to surrender. As the centuries passed, the harbour gradually silted up, and by Georgian times, the port was virtually gone. Chester was now the county town of Cheshire, and elegant new houses and terraces were built to house the wealthy merchants of the city. During the Victorian times, the magnificent Gothic-style town hall was built, and the Eastgate clock was erected in honour of Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee. The Industrial Revolution brought railways, canals, and new roads to the city, which saw substantial expansion and development over the years, and has architecture from just about every era. Towards the end of World War II, a lack of affordable housing caused a lot of problems for Cheshire. Large areas of farmland on the outskirts of the city were developed as residential areas in the 50s and early 60s. A bypass was built through and around the city centre to combat traffic congestion, a big problem for many UK cities as car ownership and use continues to rise. The new developments caused the locals to become concerned as the physicality and therefore the feel of the city was being dramatically altered. In 1968, a report by Donald Insall, in collaboration with authorities and government, recommended that historic buildings be preserved in Chester. Consequently, the buildings were used in new and different ways instead of being flattened, resulting in a very different Chester today. The ancient city is said to be a truly breathtaking experience when in person or even virtually through a live stream, wink wink. Each chapter of Chester's history is etched into every fabric of the city. Every medieval building and ancient wall is bursting with historic and priceless character. You walk in where Roman legionaries marched to war, Viking raiders wreaked havoc, and Norman invaders conquered Anglo-Saxons. It is definitely a lot. Chester has the most complete city walls, the oldest racecourse, the largest Roman amphitheatre in Britain, plus a 1,000-year-old cathedral and 700-year-old unique shopping rows. From Fortress Deva Victrix to Chester, one thing has always remained, and that's just how beautiful and spectacularly interesting it is. There is so much more. This video could have literally been 5 hours long, but I do hope to get a bit more in when we visit there, live on stream. If you can join us, it will be probably uploaded here either way. Hope this video was somewhat entertaining and maybe even learned a little something. This has been a lot of fun to make and research, and I'm definitely going to do this in future with more places that we're going to go visit. Shout out to Jen for the epic idea. I've been the Cloud Surfer, and thank you for watching my video to the end. Let me know if I should do more of these kind of videos, you know, like maybe a bit more history and, you know, blah blah blah, sub to the channel. All that kind of random stuff. Anyway, peace and love.